20 years ago, a little film called Spider-Man 2 was released, and ever since that day, not a single comic book movie has come out that has dethroned that film as my favorite entry in the comic book movie genre. Claiming that Spider-Man 2 is my favorite comic book movie is kind of a bold claim, and some of you might think that I am blinded by nostalgia, and you would not be incorrect. So there is a difference between saying that Spider-Man 2 is the best superhero movie versus saying it's my favorite superhero movie. Claiming that something is the best invalidates all other opinions, while saying something is my favorite is a more personal statement. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Spider-Verse, Infinity War, and Logan. But those movies didn't leave as big of an emotional impact on me than Spider-Man 2 did. To say that Spider-Man 2 is a deeply personal film to me would be quite the understatement. Most comic book movies have a focus on the protagonist's various feats in great physical strength, though Spider-Man 2 is one of those rare comic book movies that has a focus on the protagonist's interpersonal and emotional strength. In this film, the world beats our protagonist, Peter Parker, down to the ground on his hands and knees. Like every great Spider-Man story, Peter Parker just can't seem to catch a break. In fact, his life kinda sucks. He can't hold a job, his grades are slipping, the love of his life and his best friend are slowly beginning to resent him, and the Daily Bugle is using his photos to slander his name.
It is not. I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
Sorry, Mr. Jameson. All of this is because of Peter's dual life as Spider-Man, and he does what any reasonable person would do. Gives up his dual life as Spider-Man. His life begins to go on the upswing because of this decision, as seen in the brilliant "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head" montage. As Peter gets used to this, on paper, much happier life, he begins to feel empty inside, and that he's not fulfilling this responsibility that was bestowed upon him. Ultimately, Peter decides to put the mask back on, continuing his dual life as Spider-Man. This decision is Peter Parker's greatest feat of strength. Stopping the train was extremely difficult. Understatement of the world. It damn near killed him. But deciding to keep on swinging, despite of the repercussions and hardships that will inevitably come his way, is something that feels infinitely more difficult. I feel I can make this statement because I went through something kind of similar. Now, obviously I don't have superpowers, and I don't lead a dual life as a vigilante crime fighter, but I can remember a time in my life where I felt that my life was crumbling right before my eyes, and I was completely alone and powerless to it. I've struggled with anxiety and depression my entire life, but during this time in my life, these feelings were at a high gear. I was having panic attacks on an nearly daily basis, and my circumstances were just getting worse and worse by the day. I was becoming almost entirely consumed by my inner demons. This went on for nearly an entire year, until I spiraled down to rock bottom. This was an incredibly dark period of my life. I was beginning to give up on living, on continuing to live. I've never felt so scared before or since. I know this is kind of a dark topic to talk about in a video about a superhero movie, but in a way, that superhero movie kind of saved my life. What helped me get out of this incredibly dark period of my life was thinking about the emotional strength that was put on display by Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. Throughout most of my childhood, Spider-Man was my favorite superhero. I watched the Raimi trilogy probably hundreds of times. I know these movies like the back of my hand. Though it took till I was a teenager for me to fully grasp the emotional impact of Peter Parker being able to navigate through his emotional turmoil. And that's because I was trying to navigate through my emotional turmoil. Seeing Spider-Man swing once again, ready to fight any challenge that came his way, inspired me to persevere through any challenge that came my way. There is a reason why I cried like a baby when Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker walked through that portal in No Way Home. I was finally reunited with my childhood hero, whom I never thought I was going to see again. I was reunited with the character that told me to hold on, despite of what came my way. What has forever been my favorite scene in Spider-Man 2, and ultimately my favorite scene in all of comic book movies, is the scene right after the legendary train fight, where the ordinary train passengers help an injured Peter Parker back onto his feet. This act of kindness by these ordinary citizens is so emotionally powerful. It shows that acts of bravery, strength, and kindness don't go unnoticed, despite of what others may say. I want to close this video off with this little message. You are not alone. There are people in this world who care about you and love you. If you are going through any form of emotional crisis or emotional turmoil, please reach out for help. There are links in the description below that can help if that is needed. I'm sorry if this video was very emotionally heavy. I've been holding off this video because of just how personal the topics that were covered here. I just hope that this video can be relatable and helpful for those who struggle with mental health. Look forward for more videos in the near future. Thanks for watching.